Hey guys, it's Krishantiw with Krishantiw.com talking about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. And what I wanted to discuss a little bit today is when spirits of deceased loved ones communicate with you in your dreams. Now, I am not a medium, I'm a clairvoyant, and I learn how to be psychic, and I teach other people to do the same. And the reason why I'm not a medium is that I discovered along the path that spirits are really pushy, and if they want to talk to you, they will really try to get up in your face, and it can be any time of day when you're doing anything, and I found it a little too much, a little too extra. So I just shut that door. However, recently, somebody that I know ended her life suddenly, of course. Yeah, so that all happened. And so I'm like trying to figure out how much to say. I'll just say that I heard it, and it was like, we were all in shock, and I went to the gym, and I was on one of the machines, and my iPod, I still have an old school iPod. It kept stopping over and over again. It wasn't, the pause button was just out there in the open. It would stop like 13 times or more. Funny, I just said number 13, but it was a bunch of times. And I was like, look, I knew it. And I said, listen, I can't help you. The family is not open to this sort of thing. Like, even if you could tell me something, I can't tell them. It won't do any good. And I had this sense of like her being here trying to communicate with me and also being there with them, which when you die, you're not limited to space or time. So you can be in different places at once. And in this case, the spirit was in shock. It was like, oh my God, and all of that was happening. And I went to tune into my guides, and they said, don't look at it, don't work with it. Like, we'll help just usher her off, like be with the angels at this point. Just like, that's what the best thing anyway. And I was relieved that they handled it. My guides took care of it. And yeah, this might sound wacky, but some of this stuff is not linear and like not normal, so to speak. So anywho, that all happened. And then a couple of nights ago, I don't always remember my dreams, but I woke up in the morning and I remembered that we had a very long time together in my dream, she and I remembered holding her, hugging her, and sorry, the light's doing this weird thing because the light is changed now. But anyway, I remember holding her and hugging her, and I feeling her body and holding that little sweet, beautiful body and hugging her. And I remember that the dream just went on and on and on and on. And I knew that was not a psychological processing dream. That was a spirit dream. And her spirit is definitely cycling, thank God, onto the good place. I want to dispel that myth that when you end your life, you go to hell, because it's not true. I don't want to talk about that, though. That's a whole other thing. Other clients that I've worked with too have had experiences where their loved ones visit them in dreams. Oftentimes when they're not like mediums, that's the best and easiest way for a spirit to communicate with you. Sometimes you're having a regular dream, you're processing psychological sleeping, just straight up sleeping stuff. Other times your spirit is in traversing different realms. And when you're off in the different realms and levels and places, and that's where it's easy for a soul to connect. It's like you hear, and like maybe they're over here, and then they come meet you, or you go up there, and then you guys can have this discourse. You may or may not remember it, but if you are looking for closure or connection with someone that you love that's not here in the physical, set your intention when you go to bed at night to connect with them in your sleep and to have a beautiful, like sacred, like blessed dreams. You want to have a beautiful experience, of course, and try to recall your dream in the morning. That will help. But that experience of seeing her in that dream, and that we spent so much time together, and I keep remembering that. It just went on and on and on. It was fine, and it was nice. It was lovely. I wanted to share with you an experience, like one of the first experiences I had of this actually happening, which was, by the way, before I say that, another one of my dearest friends lost one of her family members, and she felt his presence in dreams as well. So just that little side note. But as you may or may not know, my mom died of cancer when I was 15. And I didn't really get a sense of her being around. I mean, I was doing the teenage stuff. It was hard enough. Life was hard enough as it was. But when I went into college, it was my freshman year. So I was 15. This was like 3 years later. So it's about 18. I had a dream in which I was with her. And it was so vivid. To this day, I can, like, there's like a taste and a feel to it. I remember that dream. It was real. And she showed me the stars, this beautiful starry sky. And we were talking, and she was saying, I'm not going to be able to be there for your high school graduation, but I'll be up here. And she's pointing like she was going to be in the stars. And it was such a powerful, like, even just talking about it, I'm like crying, trying not to cry. It was so moving and so powerful that I woke up crying. And I have never in my life, you guys, never have I woken up from a dream crying. I was crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. And there were fires going on at the time. And I went outside, and the sky was this apocalyptic orangey red gray thing. It was beautiful. It was like majestic, and it was incredible. But there was, all of it was so intense and so powerful, and such a beautiful dream. I had already graduated college with high school, but the interesting thing is about that, time is not there. It's not in the other realms. There's just no time, and so we have it here, but over there we don't. And so it was fascinating to me, that communication. Now, some non-believers would say that was just a processing dream, but I don't think so. And I think anybody that is familiar with the world of spirit and with souls who want to talk to us know that they definitely find an avenue in dreams and in electronics. But that's a whole other story, because that's when they really want your attention. And like I said with her and the iPod, that if you see lights flickering, or things are acting wonky, and it's not like a loose wire or anything, because by the way, my iPod's been fine since, and fine before. It's never happened. Spirits will do that. Try to get your attention, and mostly they just want to tell you stuff or communicate something. So I just wanted to share that with you, and to give you that tip if you do want to communicate with someone, and to know that they are there and will come in your dream. So I hope that helps. And for more info on psychic development and this whole realm of things, I have a lot of tools, meditations, and courses too, all over at Krishantiw.com. So check it out, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.